Hello there, what is up? Thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me today. My name is Trix, and on this channel we share one little spark of life in each and every video. We hang out together every Monday, Friday, and Saturday and unbox subscription boxes, share our love for all things Disney, review products, and go through our shopping hauls. If any or all of that sounds like something you would like to see more of, make sure you click that subscribe button and ring that bell before you leave here today. That way YouTube will let you know each and every time I upload a new video. And thank you very much if you are a returning member of our community for your continued support. It is great to see you again. In today's video, we are going to be unboxing the book of the month, my book of the month selection for March. I know that it is coming in at the very end of March, but it's just the way things go. Now, Book of the Month is, I think, the oldest book subscription box that there is. But if you are new to Book of the Month, a little rundown for you. It is a monthly book club. Book of the Month each month gives you 5 choices for a book. You can log in, you can view these choices, and you can read a synopsis of the book, reviews, and the first page or so of the book before you make your selection. If you do not like any of the 5 books, that is perfectly fine. You can skip for that month and your book credit does roll over to the next month. I have unboxed a few Book of the Month selections on this channel. I will be leaving that playlist in the description box down below so you can check out those unboxings and my review of the books. And I also have in the description box down below the link to the Book of the Month website that you can check out the information for yourself. Give this as a gift for someone or give it as a gift to yourself. Now, in my Book of the Month unboxings, I do always like to give a little review of my book selections from the previous month before I unbox this month's. If you are here only to see what my choice for this month was, no worries. I have in the description box down below that timestamp so you can jump straight to that choice. So last month I picked 2 books. I had my March choice and then I had my add-on. My March Book of the Month book choice was, insert picture here, click, click, The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. Now, this book did span a few good decades from the late 1920s to about, I think if I remember correctly, the mid-1940s, beginning or mid-1940s. But the main focus of this book was during the Great Depression, during the Dust Bowl. A key point about this book did focus on, within the same timeline, multiple narrators, which is a concept that I either love or I hate. And in this book, it worked really well. I love history and I've read a lot about the Great Depression, but I never really focused any of that reading on what happened to the migrant workers, what happened to the people in the Midwest who, let me say, who became migrant workers. And this book did focus on that. And it was completely heart-shattering. Like, the things that these people went through, words cannot express. You just have to read it for yourself. After I finished reading this book, I wanted to applaud it. You know how like you applaud like a really good movie? I wanted to applaud that for this book. If you have not checked out The Four Winds, I highly suggest it, whether it be on Book of the Month or you just pick it up from your local bookstore. It was a beautiful piece. Segueing into my add-on for that month, and I actually do have the book here, another beautiful piece, The Great Believers by Rebecca Mackay. This is technically historical fiction as well. Part of the story takes place in the 1980s during the AIDS epidemic, and a focus of that epicenter is in Chicago, in this book at least. So this book did follow 2 storylines, one in the 1980s. It actually spanned from the early, I think like 1982-ish, to the 1990s. So it spanned a good 10 years and followed a group of friends' life. And then one chapter was during that time period. And then the next chapter was in 2015 that followed the life of one of the deceased friends' sisters. And it was such a beautiful book as well. The way that the 2 storylines just like crossed and intermingled, and the surprises at the end, just very beautiful. I do have to say that both of my books that I chose for February were very heavy subjects. So it took me a little bit longer to read them because it was a lot to process, but both I do not regret at all picking. Absolutely loved them, and it was an absolute subfest at the very end of both books. Warning, you will cry like a little baby if you read these books. All right, now moving on to my March choice. I did not choose an add-on. It is just one of the March choice offerings. Open it up if you've never seen one of these unboxings before. It's not that fancy. There's no bells and whistles. It is just a book in a box. Sometimes you get stickers. Sometimes you get a bookmark. We got a bookmark. Oh, this one has a cute little snail. Last month's had little stars on it. It says, "Where were we?" Cute little snail. And then this month I chose The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Pinner. One, not why I chose it at all, but look at this covering. Beautiful, beautiful cover. All right, and let me read you a little synopsis of the book. A forgotten history, a secret network of women, a legacy of poison and revenge. Welcome to the Lost Apothecary. Hidden in the depths of 18th century London, a secret apothecary shop caters an unusual kind of clientele. Women across the city whisper of a mysterious figure named Nella, who sells well-disguised poisons to use against the oppressive men in their lives. Nella's dark world is no place for her newest patron, a precarious 12-year-old girl named Eliza Fanning. But their unexpected bond sparks a string of consequences that echoes through the centuries. 200 years later, aspiring historian Caroline Parswell discovers an aged apothecary vial in the River Thames. As she is newly grappling with the searing betrayal of her husband's infidelity, a curious research project is exactly the distraction Caroline needs. But when she discovers a link between the vial and London's long unsolved apothecary murders, Caroline's upended present soon collides with an explosive history, binding her fate to Nella's and Eliza's in a stunning twist that transcends the barrier of time. Sounds like there's going to be a little time travel in this book. I hope there's a little time travel in this book because I love time travel. So tune in next month if you want to see, of course, what my April Book of the Month choice is and my thoughts on The Lost Apothecary. That is it for today's Book of the Month unboxing. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your day with me. As always with the Book of the Month unboxings, let us know in the comments down below what your book recommendations are so we can go and check those out. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in another video. Goodbye!